Let's spill some Fruit Loops with geometry nodes. Let's go to geometry nodes, click on the cube, click new. Then we're going to not use the group out input, Shift A, search, curve circle, nice. And then we're going to use the for each element, Shift A, search for each element. Now we want to click out of the generated into that, and then into there. Connect. Now, what we want to do is select that to spline, because right now we're importing a spline. So here we're going to be making our Fruit Loops. So what we want to do is Shift A and go and use duplicate elements, because we need some elements to duplicate and affect. And what we're duplicating is the spline. So now we have all of these things. Now let's add some more, and just to show that it's working, Shift A, search, and what we want to do is split to instances, because we want each of these duplicated elements to be an instance coming out of this here. Now we will go Shift A, search, and we want a grid, because we want to go Shift A, search, instance on points. There we go. Mesh to the points, because there's a bunch of points. Actually, there's 3 times 3, there's 9 points. There we go. Generated instance. And you can see it's all crazy. Now we want to go pick instance. And these things are too big, because Fruit Loops are small. So let's start with our base radius for each of these to be, a little bit smaller than that. Even 0.04 is too big, but it will work for now. Now, there we go. We have that going on. We have our grid. Now, these are looking pretty boring. We gotta do something to those. Let's jazz them up, as you could say. Let's jazz them up. But let's add some, some thickness. Shift A, search, curve to mesh. And there we go. We have a curve to mesh. But it's not doing anything, because Shift A, we need a profile curve. So we're going to use a curve circle. Circular, round and round. Here we go. Into the profile curve. Bang. We got that going on. Let's make the radius smaller and smaller. There we go. There we go. Now we have some round circular Fruit Loops, which look very uniform. All the ducks are in a row, but then all their ducks in a row, they're very boring. We want our ducks to be a bit more crazy looking. So let's turn down the low resolution. We don't need that super high. Maybe 8. Now you can see I kind of want to scale these up. So on this curved circle, Shift A, search. Let's go transform geometry node. Transform geometry. Bang. There we go. And I only want to scale it on the Z. What? It is not doing anything. Why? That's silly. So silly. Oh, maybe I just... Let's go 1. Maybe it's the Y. Why does that work? Oh, I know why. Because this curved circle is sitting on the flat, and I want to affect this way right here. That's why it's the Z. So I'm making it a little more up and round. Alright, so we got that going on. Now they're looking a little too round. They're just round. I want, you know, they come out of the factory a little bit more, you know, not so uniform. So let's affect the base shape that's coming in here. So let's get old set position, Shift A, search, set position. Excellent. Now we got that going on. It's not going to do anything because we got to add some noise. Bring the noise, Shift A, search, noise. Noise. So we got this noise here. This color output is 3 dimensions. So we go color, then we want to add a vector math, and we want to, we'll go to the add to the subtract, and we're gonna go 0.5. Because if we do that, if we don't do that, things are gonna go crazy. Now these are looking, oh wow, those are kind of cool, like tasty spiral cinnamon knots. But we're not making cinnamon knots right now. We're making Oreos. No, not Oreos, silly. We are going to we're making Froot Loops, that's it. Alright, so let's go and add another vector math. Vector math. I am vector math. And set to scale. Because we just want to, you know, we just want to add that effect, not so powerful. Now, so you can see each of these are the same, you know? So boring. So boring. All the same. There we go. Let's move you. Happy little nodes. So we're going to change this from 3D to 4D. Yeah. And with 4D, we can go like this, and it cycles through. You know, they're all getting wiggly jiggly. Now we can see the happy little index output here on the for each element. We are going to go and click that into there, and blammo! Each one is different. There we go. See that one? All of them have some randomness, because sometimes life is random. Uh-oh. See here? It's setting points on the vertical axis. We don't really want that. It could work. I like it, but I don't like it. So what we gotta do is only affect the X and Y position of the points of this base curve. So we want to do Shift A. We're going to add 2 nodes. We are going to separate X, Y, Z. Blammo. Shift A, search, and combine XYZ. Combine XYZ. Blammo. Now it's just on the X. Now we're gonna go like this. There we go. And now you can see they're not affecting this way. But if you like the effect, you can just go hit M on the keyboard, M, and then we got M, M. And now we have that random up and down. But I don't want that, so I'm gonna hit M, click M, there we go. Super! Now we have some Fruit Loops. But these Fruit Loops look very boring in color, you know. Fruit Loops have different colors, you know. They're happy little, you know, rainbows. All the colors. Now we need to add some material. Yeah, let's do it. Shift A, search. Let's see. Set material. Set material. Because are we just a girl in a material world? Alrighty. I don't know. Maybe some are. I don't know. Alrighty. So let's add a material, but we gotta add what we're gonna add the material here. We're gonna go to material. Let's add it. Add a name. Let's call it random. Color. I'm from Canada, so I'm gonna go COLOUR. Blammo. Alrighty. Now let's go to material preview, and it's same. Boring. If I change the color, it's all the same. Yeah, that's not gonna do one bit. So let's go to shading tab, and this is our random color material. Shift A. Let's add a object info. Excellent. Go to color to color ramp. Ramp factor. Into the color. And then you can see there's something going on. But it's not because, oh, I made a mistake. I don't want the color. I want the random. Blammo. There we go. Now we got some happy little colors going on. So what we're going to do is we are going to go here, change this to like a red. There we go. This color we're going to change it to, and let's go there. And instead of RGB, we're going to go HSV, and so near, we're going to go clockwise. Counterclockwise? There we go. Just so we can have all the spectrum of colors of clockwise around the... So you see it goes clockwise from this point color to this point color. So if I change that one to here, and then if we change this way, it changes the effect. I'm gonna go bring that back. There we go. Now we got some happy little colors going on. Alrighty, so these are looking kind of boring, you know. Fruit Loops are a little bit, you know, they have some texture. Let's add some texture. So Shift A, search. We're gonna add some noise again. Noise texture. Color to a bump. Not things that go bump in the night. And we want that to go into the height. Height. Bang. There we go. Wait a few seconds. And now it's not doing anything because we need to add some mapping. So go noise. If I have Node Wrangler, so I'm going to go Control T. but you don't need to do that because it works. Go scale. Oh yeah, the height. Oh yeah, with the new versions of Blender, we have to go and up the distance so we can kind of see the distance of these happy little Fruit Loops. And then go Shift A, search, color ramp, color ramp. And we're just going to wait a few seconds, bring down, let's see here. Yeah, they look kind of, they work. There we go. We got some of the Fruit Loops there. Now, Fruit Loops have a little bit of white kind of frosting coating on that. So what we want to do, go Shift A, search, mix. And we want to set that to color, mix color. Go Lamo, wait a few seconds, and then from the color output, we're gonna go factor. We only want it to be in that spot. And do I like that? Not really. And I think I want to go like, put that onto the bottom. There we go. And maybe mix overlay? Clamp factor. Overlay to, let's see, mix to overlay. Do. You know what? They work. I don't really like that effect, but whatever. We have our happy little Fruit Loops. And then let's go back to geometry nodes. So we have all these points. Now, so if I up the vertices, so there we go. We got the Fruit Loops, but they're all, you know, uniform. And I don't like that. I want some randomness. Sometimes life is random and it's confusing and annoying. But what we're going to do, instead of using the points on here, I'm going to take this and then I'm going to go Shift A, search, and we're going to go with distribute points on faces. It's on faces. Bang. There we go. Now we got some randomness. But we also have some overlap, and I don't want overlap. You know, they can't be touching. No. Stop touching each other. Random, and then we're going to use this poison disc, which gives us a distance minimum between the points. So if I up this, there we go. There is no interaction. See? There's no touching. And so if I up the density, oh, still some touching. So maybe I just need to up the distance minimum and then add there. So now we got some more randomness. Now we have a little, you know, pile here of our Fruit Loops. Now what we want to do is, let's distort this plane. So see how this plane, it's very boring. It's not really exciting. I can up the vertices. Now we're going to do the same thing we did with our plane here, or actually I should say our base curve here. So what I'm going to do here, go copy, select, 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 and then Shift a D for delightful. Alrighty, and then we'll go Shift D, that set position. Plug that into the offset. And I don't see anything because I have my viewer showing, excuse me, the base grid. Set position, Control. And there we go. We have some stuff going on there. But with the scale, so if I up the scale a little bit, and I want to up the scale here, and I might yeah, it's looking kind of boring. There we go. So I'm distorting that. And I don't care that this face is overlapping. It doesn't really matter because I only care about that result. Now you can see that we got some randomness going on. So we got some scale. Now we have some random pile of Froot Loops. But there's no floor. Yeah. They're not just going to float in space unless they're kind of like, you know, super Froot Loops. But they're not for super Froot Loops. They don't fly. They deal with boring old gravity, which is very helpful. So let's add a floor. Shift A, search, plane. And we're going to call this floor. Floor is not a bore. There we go. Let's scale it up. Scale it up. Shift A. And we're going to apply that scale. Alrighty. Now you can see these Froot Loops are on intersecting the floor. So let's go use my moving gizmo and just bring them up. There we go. Now we have that going on. But the floor looks boring. Let's add a material. So I have the asset browser going on, and I have the true assets add-on, and which is handy because I got the online assets. I can go material, the materials tab here, and I want to go with carpet. And this, which carpet do I like? Let's try that one. Let it download. Ooh, very nice. So there we go. Now we have some spilt, or now we have some spilt things here. Not Oreos. I would want to say Oreos. Oreos are tasty, but no, these are not Oreos. These are Froot Loops. Here we go. So next time we need to clean these Froot Loops up because we can't have them on the floor. We're gonna step on them and they're, you know, dusty, and you know, then people are gonna be upset, and then I have to do laundry, and I don't want to do laundry. All right, so thank you for watching, and peace out.